Hoglander has turned into a legitimate top 6 forward, and these stats will blow your mind. And the Canucks goalie prospect has been dominating the WHL. I'll get into this later on this episode. Before I start, I just want to say to thousands of you watching that aren't subscribed, if you're enjoying this daily Canucks content, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button, and never miss another episode, as we're going to keep you up to date daily on everything about the Canucks. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Hoglander continues to dominate. Now, obviously, Hoglander is just 23 years old. He was a second-round pick, 40th overall, which is just a complete steal if you ask me. I'm still surprised that he was taken this far down, and the Canucks actually got him this far. He's 5'9", 185 pounds. He's a left wing, right wing, and he's been an absolute force with the Canucks. I know during trade deadline, the Canucks fans wanted a top 6 forward. This could have been Jake Gensel, maybe a guy like Tyler Toffoli, but it seems like Hoglander has came in and taken this top 6 role and just kind of overexceeded what everyone was expecting. And he looks like a guy that's going to be a staple in this top 6 for quite some time. Now, when you do look at Hoglander this year, 69 games played, 22 goals, 11 assists, 33 points, a plus 20. The 22 goals alone is almost double his career high that he had in his rookie season. In 56 games, he had 13 goals. The big thing with Hoglander this year is his ice time is only 11 minutes and 45 seconds, and he has 22 even strength goals. This is just outstanding for a guy that was playing in the bottom 6 and finally got promoted into the top 6. He's also starting to block a few shots. He has 19 this year, which is the same he had in his rookie year. But another big thing to notice is the fact that he has 77 hits, and he's starting to use his body and physicality to just be an absolute workhorse with a lot of work ethic on this top 6. Now, when you do look at him, and I was kind of hinting at it when I was talking about the fact he had 22 goals. When you look at players 5-on-5 only, no power play, no 3-on-3, no 4-on-4, none of this, and just purely 5-on-5, Hoglander sits number 10 with 22 goals, tied with Mikko Rantanen. Now you look at this list: Zach Hyman, Austin Matthews, Nathan MacKinnon, Terry Panarin, Pasta, Marchessault, Braden Point, Filip Forsberg, and William Nylander just below Hoglander. And just the fact that he has 22 even strength goals, which is more than William Nylander, who has 40 goals this season, just a little less than a guy like Filip Forsberg, Braden Point, Pasta, Matthews, Hyman, who has 50 goals. This is just an incredible list to be on. And another thing to look at is if you want to look at ice time. When you look at Zach Hyman, 1,049 minutes time on ice at 5-on-5. Austin Matthews, 1,083. McKinnon, 1,204. 1,103 for Panarin. And when you look down at Hoglander, 769 minutes time on ice, which is just behind a guy like Marchessault with 943, which makes them the only two with less than 1,000 minutes on ice in the top 11. And the biggest thing with this is Hoglander is the only guy with under 800. He has been phenomenal this season. Like I've said, we've seen him in the bottom 6. He was primarily on the 4th and 3rd line, still racking up goals, still putting up points, and it was all on his own. Now he got promoted into this top line with Pettersson, and he just doesn't look like he's going to look back any farther and not move down in this lineup. Garland's been on the right wing on this line, and this line has looked like one of the best lines the Canucks have iced this year. When you do look at Hoglander as a whole, and like I said, you look at this guy and he was drafted 40th overall, these are the top goal scorers from this draft class. You see Jack Hughes, number 1, 111 goals. He was the first overall pick. Cole Caulfield, 15th overall, 73 goals. Matt Boldy, 70 goals. And you work your way down, and at number 7 on this list, you have Hoglander with 48 goals in 210 games. He's getting so much less playing time than any of these guys. Time on ice is so much less. And he's also 11th in points when you look at the total draft class and who has the most points. He's sitting above a guy like Alex Newhook, just below a guy like Trevor Zegras. All these guys are playing in the top 6. We've seen Alex Newhook, before he was traded to Montreal, was playing second line center for the Colorado Avalanche. Trevor Zegras is a top line player for the Anaheim Ducks. Kakko has been a guy that jumps around the lineup, but overall he has got a lot of ice time. Boldy, Caulfield, Hughes. These guys are staples in their top six. And it's just Hoglander's first time this season. Recently, we've seen him in this top six. So like I said, 7th in goals, 11th in points. You look at a total 5-on-5 goals, and he sits number 10 above a guy like William Nylander and tied with Rantanen. And when you look at his total points this season, 22 goals, 11 assists, he's looking like an absolute steal. This guy's going to be stapled into this top six. And what makes this even better, when you look at the Vancouver Canucks forward contracts, you obviously have JT Miller at the top. Pettersson will be at the top next season when his contract kicks in. Boeser, Connor Garland, and you work your way down, and you can see Hoglander with $1.1 million this season and next season. On the entire Canucks roster, he's the only player other than guys making under $1 million on rookie deals or entry-level contracts that is making this low of just a cap hit. And having him at 1.1 next year as he's emerging as a top six is going to be phenomenal and huge for the Vancouver Canucks as they have their quest to go back-to-back and hopefully win the Stanley Cup this year and next year, or at least be competitive in the next couple of seasons while he still makes 1.1. So what are your guys' thoughts on Hoglander? Has he been a pleasant surprise for you guys? Did you always know that he was going to be like this? And what do you think his peak is? Do you think he can maybe hit 30 goals by the end of the year? And how many goals do you think he'll score next year? I'm really in the boat that this guy can score 30 plus goals next year, 20 plus assists for 50 points while only making 1.1 million. Now, talking about players of the future, we also have Ty Young. Looks like an absolute draft steal. Ty Young was a Vancouver Canucks draft pick in 2020. He's 140th overall, 5th round by the Canucks. 19 years old, he's 6'3", 183 pounds, and he's a goaltender. And Elite Prospects did write a little sample on him and said, great at staying on his feet and recovering without looking frantic or erratic. He plays like he takes up more of the net than he does. Now, the big thing with this is he does play in the WHL, and he's been absolutely lights out of late. He plays with Prince George Cougars in the WHL. In 37 games, he does have a .903 save percentage, 279 goals against average, 23 and 11. But the big thing with this is when you look at Ty Young's recent games, this is just a breakdown of the past 6. You can see in the first game in 59 minutes, 1 goal against on 32 shots for a .970 save percentage and .99 goals against average. He did have a shaky start in 61 minutes where he allowed 4 goals on 18 shots, followed up by relief game, 5 saves and no goals against. Then you can see 1 goal on 38 shots, 4 on 16, which once again another shaky game, and 2 goals on 34 shots for a .944 save percentage and a 2 GAA. Now, when you do look at his last 6 games, on 143 saves, he's only allowed 12 goals for a .923, and his last 4 he has a .930 save percentage. This guy has looked outstanding for the in the WHL. They are currently in the playoffs. Like I said, when you have numbers like this, it is hard not to make it into the playoffs. They are the number 1 seed in the West in the WHL, and the playoffs will start soon. But this is yet another Canucks prospect to keep an eye on. He was drafted fairly late, and he's looking like he's starting to come around. This is a guy that I think will be fighting for a spot in Abbotsford maybe next season. I don't think he'll make the Canucks, especially with Demko there, and you have a guy like Casey DeSmith that will probably end up being re-signed and ran as the backup again. So what you guys thought on Ty Young? Is he a prospect that you didn't really hear much about and you want another video just breaking down his games, showing you recent stats and everything like this? And what your guys' thoughts on me just covering prospects? You guys enjoyed, or do you rather me just kind of cover more of Abbotsford and the Vancouver Canucks as a whole? But with that, let's get into everyone's favorite topic today, which is comments of the day. Now, the comment of the day comes from PT Surfer 1339. He says, Garland, PD, and Hoglander look so good. I'm not sure they will ever break it up. Now, I did kind of say in yesterday's video that maybe we'll see Garland head down with Dakota Joshua back on that third line. But the more I'm watching this line together of Petey, Huggy, and Garland, I do not think that they're going to be broken up. I think this is a line that's going to stay for the playoffs. Let Joshua kind of reemerge on this third line, build chemistry with another guy, maybe Teddy Bluger, and someone else with him. Maybe Mikheyev could get a spark going with them. But overall, don't touch this top 6. Get Hoglander up in this top six. Keep Garland there. They look outstanding, and Pettersson's playing his best game with two of them on his wings. So what's your thoughts on this? Would you rather them keep this as the top line? Would you rather see Garland go back with Dakota Joshua on the third line? And what your ideal lines, just say all through forwards, defensemen, and goaltending? Obviously, Demko's going to be your starting goaltender, but let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, leave another comment as well, because you might be featured on tomorrow's comment of the day. And while you're down there, leave a like, share this with your friends, subscribe if you don't want to miss another episode. If you didn't enjoy this episode, I'm so sorry, and hopefully you enjoy next episode. But with that, take care.